My name is Karen Mitchell, and I live in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Ohio with my husband, David, and his son from his first marriage, Ethan. Life in our home always felt normal from the outside, but behind closed doors, things were complicated. Blended families are never simple. Ethan had been distant since the day I married David. He was 16 then, tall and quiet, with dark hair that always fell into his eyes. No matter how much I tried to connect with him, he kept me at arm's length. Over time, I stopped pushing. I thought maybe one day he'd come around. David would often say, "Just give him space, Karen. He'll warm up eventually." But the years passed, and Ethan never really did. One rainy Saturday afternoon, I sat on the living room couch, exhausted from a long week. My back ached from working extra shifts at the hospital. I must have let out a groan because Ethan, who usually avoided me, glanced up from his phone. He was sitting in the armchair across the room, earbuds in, but he noticed. "You okay?" he asked, his voice low and almost reluctant. I smiled faintly, surprised he was even speaking to me. "Just a sore back. It's nothing." He hesitated, then said, "Dad always makes me give him shoulder massages when he complains. You want me to try?" The offer caught me off guard. Ethan had never volunteered to do anything for me. Maybe this was his way of extending an olive branch, so I nodded. "That would be nice. Thank you." He walked over, looking awkward, as if he wasn't sure this was a good idea. I sat forward, and he placed his hands gently on my shoulders. His touch was hesitant at first, then more certain, as he pressed against the knots in my muscles. I was about to comment on how surprisingly good he was at this when he suddenly froze. His hands went still. My body stiffened too. "What's wrong?" I asked. His voice was quiet, almost a whisper. "Karen, I need to tell you something, but you can't tell Dad." I turned my head slightly, trying to read his expression, but his eyes were fixed on the floor. His face was pale, lips pressed together as if he was holding back a storm. "Ethan," I said softly, "you can trust me." "What is it?" He let out a shaky breath. "It's about Mom. And about what really happened the night He stopped himself, his throat tightening. The room suddenly felt colder. I knew his mother had passed away in an accident years ago. At least that was what David had told me. She'd supposedly died in a car crash late at night. The subject was always avoided in our house because it upset Ethan too much. But now, here he was, standing behind me, trembling, ready to confess something. My heart began to pound in my chest. "What about your mom?" asked carefully. His voice cracked. "It wasn't an accident. I know the truth. And Dad's been hiding it from you."